Welcome back, boxing fans. Today we're going to look at why America is so full of hate. It's no surprise, but we're going to check it out and look at why both Canelo Alvarez, who just announced his next opponent, and Bud Crawford, the pound-for-pound top fighter in America, are getting hate based on their next opponents, and for Crawford, the card in general. Stay tuned, and we will talk about that coming up shortly on Sean on Boxing. Welcome back, everybody. So today we're having a typhoon in Taiwan. So if the noise is too much outside, just let me know and I will close the door. But because it's hot, I'm leaving the door open, hopefully to get some sort of breeze through my house. Because, well, it's summer in Taiwan. It's humid as all hell. But as you could tell by the title today, we're going to be looking at two things. I was looking at a Hatman boxing video, and I've been subscribed to Hatman for years now, and I always like him. It's a different perspective. Obviously, you get a UK perspective on boxing, unlike a lot of the channels we usually get, which obviously are just American focused. And he was talking about how America is hating on Bud Crawford's upcoming August 3rd card. And people could say that's not true. I saw someone in his comments say, I live in the States and I don't see Americans hating on America on the card. But I live in Taiwan and I follow American YouTubers. And I saw people from day one, when it was speculated that Bud Crawford was going to fight Israel Madrimov, the hate already started at that point. And obviously, we can talk about why, but you know, the reality of the situation is maybe we'll just look at the card again. I already made a video. You can go back and check that out where I went into detail and checked out exactly why this card is great. It's probably the best card of 2024. And this is no surprise. Let's review for a second and remember, Saudi Arabia has been putting a lot of money into boxing, primarily matchroom boxing focused in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of boxing fans always moaning and groaning, whether it's English or American or somewhere else around the world, were bitching and crying about the fact that it's great Saudi Arabia is putting money into the sport, but everybody doesn't want the sport to be focused primarily in Saudi Arabia. So what does Saudi Arabia do? The next AJ fight is obviously against Daniel Dubois. Great matchup. That's going to be in London. And of course, then they did this card, Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov, for Bud Crawford to become a 4-weight world champion in California. So Saudi Arabia is literally listening to the fans and spreading the wealth, spreading the money, and putting it into boxing in England and in the United States. And this has just been confirmed even more so because we just realized this week that both Golden Boy and Top Rank just signed deals with Saudi Arabia to promote their fights, and obviously is going to be throwing money towards their cards in the US. So right now, American boxing fans, if there are any real American boxing fans, should be fucking over the moon. But no. We know that people perpetuating this are all race-based YouTube channels that fucking don't want to say anything good about boxing. They just want to put negativity and hate, like some people in the comment section right now, right? Moaning, groaning, never fucking satisfied, double fucking standard motherfuckers. That's what they are. They perpetually always are pushing double standards, right? The reality of the situation is money is now flowing to the States, and that's great news. That means boxing fans in America are going to get way better cards, way better matchups than general. And that's what we're getting on August 3rd with Bud Crawford, Israel Madrimov. If you don't know anything about boxing, I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot, and you should go watch fucking tennis or golf, or maybe the WNBA. But if you're a boxing fan, you should know enough about the sport to fucking do some research and actually understand exactly who is fighting on this undercard. Not only do you have the best Black American fighter in boxing on the card, headlining the card, trying to do something historical, but you also have a great Mexican fighter in Isaac Cruz, who obviously has a lot of fucking groundswell based on his Rolly Romero fight, also on the card. as well as Andy Ruiz, the only Mexican heavyweight champion in history. So you got a little something for everybody. And then you got a lot of other great fights as well. So this card is stacked. It's got 2 great heavyweight matchups. It's a real great card. And literally there's 8 fights on this card. I'm super excited to watch. It's very seldom you have a card where there's that much depth in boxing matches, but people are still moaning about it. Right now, of course, everyone's focusing on Canelo. So let's just look at the comment section and see where the hate starts. JD's in the house. Roger Burns, don't even need to listen to you. See, your whole statement just proves your stupidity, but okay. Maybe it's not the person you want, but that doesn't fucking diminish it as an opponent. No, actually, Benavidez hasn't forced the WBC to mandate him. And actually, today he just released that he's going to be chasing for the 175-pound world titles. So what do you want? The reality is this is no different than Tank Davis or any other top fighter in boxing. They have a lot of selection, a lot of people potentially they can fight. They don't need to fight the fighter you want. Of course, we'd all like to see Canelo versus Benavidez, but literally Benavidez is only getting all this hype because of Canelo hate. If it wasn't Benavidez, it'd be all the other people. Andrade, Charlo, fucking, it doesn't matter. We've seen this. It's been on for years. You guys can continue to perpetuate the same bullshit, but at the same time, Canelo's looking at you thinking, you guys don't even pay for fucking pay-per-view. Fuck you. Berlanga is good, but too green for the fight. Yeah, but stylistically, it's going to be a good fight. People weren't moaning and groaning too much when fucking Floyd Mayweather fought a green Canelo Alvarez. Salute Newton. Technique, what's up? Berlanga is pathetic. No, Roger Burns, you're pathetic. Berlanga is an undefeated top contender who's ranked on all 4 sanctioning bodies and is Canelo's WBA mandatory. It might not be the fight you want, and that's understandable, but it's still a very good opponent, and stylistically, that fight should be great. Kind of like the Jaime Munguia fight, which was a great fight, right? Like, nobody was disappointed for spending money to watch Canelo versus Munguia, but we got the same kind of hate with regards to that fight. People were pushing him to fight fucking Caleb Plant, but that fight wasn't nearly as entertaining. Why? Because stylistically, we knew it wouldn't be, because Plant doesn't come to fight. He comes to run, and he still got beat. Stop giving you bums. Canelo's got the best resume in boxing. So if you think he's giving you bums, then I hope to see Roger Burns literally on YouTube fucking saying that everybody is fighting bums. Because there's nobody who's doing more to the sport of boxing than Canelo Alvarez has. Berlanga is good, just needs more experience. Madrimov isn't squat. See, look at you. You're a hater. Obviously a PBC, LDBC fanboy who fucking just perpetuates the same myth. But I guess you fucking probably got Devin Haney's fucking dick up your ass, right? I bet you do. Got it molded in fucking clay, fucking got it beside the bed. You're all ready to go. Paper champ. Like Tank Davis, you mean? Paper champ. I mean, he's a paper champ, but he beat a top contender to earn that title. No different than Shakur Stevenson, Lomachenko, Tank Davis. Like, I mean, when people vacate titles, titles become vacant. Someone's got to fight for them. So you get the highest ranked fighter in a division. Generally, that's what happens. When Canelo Alvarez vacates his titles, you're going to have the same fucking scenario. You're going to have the same thing happen at 168 that just happened at 147, where you get 4 different champions, all with different promoters who all want a piece of the pie. If you're so ignorant to the sport of boxing, I don't even know why you put so much effort into the sport and why you even jump on my lives. Canelo is ducking Benavidez. Benavidez just said he's going to 175 or staying at 175. Canelo wasn't green when he fought Floyd. Case study, he was green. Stop being stupid. Berlanga fucking has 20 fucking something fights too. So is he green? Like, dudes like you are narrative driven. That's the problem with you. I've never seen you on my channel, but of course you saw an opportunity to jump on Canelo Alvarez and push hate because You pretend to be a David Benavidez fan. You don't like David Benavidez. You fucking couldn't tell me 5 fighters David Benavidez fought without looking at BoxRec. Canelo fought guys when they were old and cherry-picked C-level fighters if they were young. What are you, fucking echoing fucking Andre Ward, a guy who only fought Euro bums his whole fucking career and then retired and fucking ducked 2 opportunities to become undisputed? But he's a superstar. Oh no, sorry, he never was a superstar. Nobody would pay to watch his fights because he was boring. Munguia robbed Dennis Hogan and arguably lost to Sergey. Munguia robbed Dennis Hogan? What, he fucking pull a gun on him? Pull a knife on him? What are you talking about? Munguia robbed him. Keep talking, man. Canelo is feeding us microwavable crap, and I'm sick of it. If you're sick of it, Roger Burns, don't fucking watch it. You don't pay for it, so then it doesn't hurt you. Go fucking watch David Benavidez's next opponent, because we saw what David Benavidez is doing. He just fought a fucking 40-year-old coming out of 4 years of retirement, but you ate that shit up. Ooh, it was yummy. Give me more of that David Benavidez fucking doo-doo bullshit fucking fighting. David Benavidez could fight fucking your fucking ex-girlfriend, and you'd fucking be boosting it up here on YouTube like it was fucking world class. Come on, dude. Keep the same fucking energy. To be honest, Sean, I'm not sold on Berlanga. I'm not sold on Berlanga. I'm not trying to say that Berlanga is fucking the best fighter at 168 pounds. He's not, but he's top 5. He's a top 5 168-pound fighter that the undisputed champion is fighting. Never in history has a champion got lambasted for fighting a top 5 contender. Never. Carl Froch, a Euro bum, get a grip. KKB, Euro bum. What top American fighter did fucking Carl Froch ever beat? Name one, please. Just one. Your homework is simple. Just one. Carl Froch is a guy who made his name by calling out fucking Joe Calzaghe. Joe Calzaghe, who's a way better fighter than Carl Froch ever was. Slow-ass feet, slow-ass hands, only had some power and a great chin. He is far from a fucking historical great fighter. Tough, aggressive, hard puncher, entertaining, yes. And even in his podcast now, I like him. He's got a lot of personality. He's a fucking dickhead, but a lot of personality. Benavidez doesn't have all the belts holding up the division with tomato cans. He got all the belts because he beat all the champions. See, isn't that ironic how that happens? You know, unlike Devin Haney, who didn't fight all the best fighters in his division. Actually, Roger is correct about Hogan getting robbed. No, he said Munguia robbed him. Munguia didn't rob him. Munguia had nothing to do with the decision. It was the first time I saw a Mexican getting booed by hometown fans when they had the decision. Ha ha ha, a Hall of Famer. A Hall if Famer. Yes, that's the question. If. Because if he actually deserved to be a Hall of Famer, then maybe we would talk about Carl Froch as a Hall of Famer. But tell me one top fighter that he beat. You still haven't said anything. The best version of Kovalev as well. The best version of Kovalev. The best version of Kovalev beat Andre Ward, was robbed, and then mentally was broken by the time they fought in the second fight. Cove got robbed versus Ward. Every real fucking person is fucking going to say that, unless, of course, they are like KBBB, who's full of shit. But let's get back to the thing. This is not all about Canelo. What you guys are missing is this is also talking about Bud Crawford and the hate he's receiving based on his upcoming card, right? Yeah, KB, robbed. Kovalev was robbed. Over 85% of media people at that fight had Kovalev winning on the cards, and the other 15% were Black American. Dennis Hogan was fighting Munguia, judges, and all the Mexican that night. Well, not all the Mexicans, because the Mexicans fucking complained about the decisions. So let's make it racial. Dennis Hogan, now you're defending an Irishman because God knows you really give a fuck. You're using Dennis Hogan to downplay fucking Munguia so you can shit on Canelo Alvarez. You don't give fuck about Dennis Hogan. Carl beat Kessler, who was a top. So Kessler, a Euro bum. That's my question. What top fighter, not European, did Carl Froch ever beat? He wasn't. Go watch it again. I'm white. Swerve your race baiting. He wasn't. Go watch it again. What are you talking about? He wasn't. Dude, you're fucking mental. Everybody feels that fucking Kovalev easily won the first fucking Ward fight. I don't need to watch it again because I watched it several times. And unlike you, I'm not trying to push Andre Ward. I watched the fight, and when I score fights, I'm super fair for the opposition, actually to the detriment of the fighter I support. So that when my fighter wins, I'm super confident that he is the winner. And that's exactly what happened in this fight. Clearly not everybody. No, because the fix was in. Just like the fix was in versus Golovkin Canelo. Just like the fix was in with Loma versus fucking Devin Haney. Whenever you're a European fighter fighting a big fight in America in Vegas, you're going to have 3 American judges scoring, and somehow the European always fucking loses a close decision. Surprising, right? Even a Euro bum. But I give a little pass because he is moving up, at least fighting a champ. Look at you. You're giving him a little pass, right? Dudes, you just prove your fucking stupidity. All you can do in the sport of boxing is push negativity and hate. That's it. Canelo Alvarez is the most accomplished fighter in boxing today, has the best resume. You can't tell me one current fighter that's active today whose resume is even close to Canelo Alvarez's. Bud Crawford, yes, he's pound for pound one of the best fighters in boxing. I guarantee your favorite fighter hasn't accomplished as much as Bud Crawford has. Yet somehow these two fighters, who are the top of the echelon in boxing, consistently get tons of hate and negativity. Just look at the comments from you guys here. Says the race baiter. Yeah, I'm the race baiter, but you're here listening to me. So, go fuck yourself if you don't like it. I'm the race baiter and you're the fucking hater who literally saw the title and felt this is my perfect opportunity to spew pure bullshit that I can't factual fucking back up in somebody's video. And it's not an LDBC channel, so they're not going to block me. Hey, right? It's your lucky fucking day. Usyk resume is better. Roger Burns, you're full of shit. You couldn't name fucking 5 fighters that fucking Usyk fought. You're laughing at me, but everyone's laughing at you because they all see your comments. You're literally here doing what? Pushing hate. And you can't back up anything you've actually said. Sean's the race baiter. Well, you can call me a race baiter. I mean, in YouTube boxing, that's the norm, right? So if I'm race baiting, I'm not doing anything different than the favorite channel that you fucking watch, which is why you come here pushing your fucking bullshit. Everyone, so now you're going to criticize me because nobody's watching my channel, but you're still here. So what does that say about you? What hate? Oh my God. Dude, you talk too much. And you say too little. Bye. So let's move forward without the interruption of a troll. So what today's boxing video is talking about is the hate towards 2 of the top 10 pound-for-pound boxers in sport today. Canelo Alvarez, who's fighting Berlanga. And as I say, you can prefer a David Benavidez. That's fine. I prefer a David Benavidez, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to fucking act as if somehow I'm disgusted and emotionally hurt because he's fighting Berlanga. Because in truth, I see the marketability, right? Just the same reason that I wasn't hurt or angry when Devin Haney was fighting fucking Ryan Garcia, who just got knocked out by Tank Davis. I saw the marketability. I understood why Devin Haney was fighting Ryan Garcia, just like I understand why Canelo is fighting Berlanga. Now you have Mexico versus Puerto Rico. on a Mexican holiday. Berlanga's a hard puncher, talks a lot of shit. A guy that's going to come in, look the part, is a hard puncher. But in truth, Canelo should be too technically good for him, even though this is an older version of Canelo who hasn't looked great in his last few fights. So the fight should be pretty fucking entertaining. And as a boxing fan, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for entertaining fights that I'm going to enjoy watching. I don't know what you guys are looking for. It's not boxing, it's narrative driven. Just look at Roger Burns and every fucking statement that he makes. That's Sean Boxing or Damon Wester on their fake accounts. Gassiev, oh, so you look at BoxRec and you could name some people. Gassiev, Breedis, Bellows, Chisora, AJ Twice, Fury, Dubois. That's damn good, going 2 times undisputed. Yeah, 2 times undisputed is good. That's why currently he's ranked above Canelo Alvarez, but his resume is not better than Canelo Alvarez. What are you, fucking mental? Like, nobody's hating on Usyk. You're the one here hating on Canelo. And you're doing your damnedest to try to justify your hate. That's what you're doing. And this video is not even only about Canelo. It's also about Bud Crawford. So let's take a quick look at this terrible fight card that people are moaning, groaning, and complaining about, which I fucking just don't understand. So here we go. So the main event, Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. Even before Crawford signed to fight Madrimov, Errol Spence fans, Bud Crawford haters were shitting on Madrimov, talking about how he's only had 10 fights, right? 11 to be fair, and criticizing him as a cherry pick. Yet he is just as good as any other world champion or top contender currently at 154 pounds. So literally, it doesn't really matter who Crawford was going to fight. Every single opponent would have been called a cherry pick, whether it was Tim Tszyu, Funduro, who blatantly ducked him, fucking Spence, who ducked him because he got destroyed in his last fight, fucking Erickson Lubin, the Russian fighter who's the IBF champion. I can't say his name. Who else is there? Ortiz, who blatantly ducked Bud Crawford when he was the WBO mandatory. Like, so it doesn't really matter. Anybody Crawford would have fought at 154, he truly would have been criticized and hated on, just like Canelo's getting hated on, of course, for fighting Berlanga. Then you got David Morrell. This is the same David Morrell people are acting like Canelo Alvarez is ducking. If they love this guy so much, you would think that they would be super excited to see him get in with a very good, very credible opponent in Kalajic, who is 29-2, right? This obviously is for the WBA World Regular Light Heavyweight title. Obviously, he's the regular WBA Super welterweight champion, middleweight champion. So the WBA regular title is allowing him to move up to 175 and fight for that vacant title. Credible move. Obviously, he becomes like Tank Davis, a 2-weight regular WBA champion. You know, for a young guy like him, these titles mean something. Then, of course, you have Isaac Cruz, who literally came off of the biggest win of his career, beating Rolly Romero. Yes, Rolly Romero sucks, but nonetheless, fans really ate that shit up. And now he's fighting Jose Valenzuela in what is a very good defense of his WBA title. Then you have fucking Andy Cruz fighting for an IBF international fight. Andy Cruz is a guy that literally Bud Crawford haters, who in sense hate Shakur Stevenson, and furthermore hate Keyshawn Davis, are saying that Keyshawn Davis is blatantly ducking Andy Cruz. Go watch Knockout Boxing for an example of this hate. Andy Cruz, who currently is 3-0. So Keyshawn Davis shouldn't be challenging a champion. He should be worrying about a 3-fight contender. But yet Madrimov is getting hated on as a 11-fight world champion. Cruz is fighting a good opponent, Antonio Moran, but this is probably the biggest cherry pick on the fight card, easily. Then, of course, we get to the 2 heavyweight fights. 2 heavyweight fights, both legitimate. Andy Cruz, Jarrell Miller. You know, this is the kind of fight you could throw on a fucking Jake Paul fight card and people would be all over it. Because this is a casual boxing fan's wet dream. Ruiz and Miller. And this is also on this card, right? Then, of course, you got the best up and coming heavyweight, young black American heavyweight contender in the sport, in Jared Anderson, facing the best fighter he's ever been in the ring with, in Martin Bakole, a real one, right? This easily is the best 50-50 fight on the card, a fucking legitimate matchup, and a fight boxing fans should be super excited about. Yet somehow people are hating on this card. This card is stacked. It's fantastic. There's nothing about this card that people should be hating on. Nothing at all. It's a great card. And every American should be super stoked that this is the kind of card that Saudi Arabia is helping to fund, because any American promoter would not put on this level of card in America, because financially they just wouldn't have the fucking money available to do it. But you're getting this, thank you very much, to Turki Al-Sheikh, who was obviously funding this fight. But let's move forward. Do you think there's any glory for Canelo if he beats Bud? No. This is the same as I said years ago. For Loma against Rigo, for Spence versus Mikey Garcia, for Canelo versus Bud. They're taking on big opponents, right? And dangerous opponents who, if they lose to, it would be fucking really terrible for them to lose to this fighter. But at the same time, they get very little credit for beating this fighter, right? It's a no-win situation. And that's where Canelo Alvarez is. You know, if he fights Bud, the haters are still going to say he's ducking David Benavidez, right? If he loses the Bud, they're going to use that as a way to shit on him, even though Bud Crawford is probably this generation's best fighter, right? Canelo Alvarez can lose to Bud Crawford and still go on to be the best Mexican fighter of all time, because the best Mexican fighters of all time lost fights. So there's a no-win situation. So I would expect probably Bud to fight Boots Ennis, paid for by Turki Al-Sheikh. That fight's probably more reasonable, and obviously is a big fight. And Bud Crawford haters are perpetuating that fight, acting as if Bud Crawford is ducking fucking Boots Ennis, just like Canelo haters are acting like he's ducking David Benavidez. Yet in truth, Bud doesn't need Boots, and Canelo doesn't need fucking Benavidez. But Boots and Benavidez definitely need them. Is there any glory in Canelo fighting Berlanga? Glory? Canelo don't need glory. Is there any glory for him beating fucking David Benavidez, a guy who literally lost his title twice and currently holds no belts, and only in 2023 finally beat good, legitimate opponents, one of whom Canelo Alvarez had already beaten when he was undefeated for unification, undisputed, which, of course, David Benavidez should have done years earlier, but blatantly ducked Caleb Plant. It really is a great card. Turkey is spoiling us once again. And that's the problem. These people are too stupid to fucking realize how they're being gifted something. And if he pulls money out and Saudi Arabia no longer funds boxing, you're not going to get fucking fight cards like this. You're not going to get matchups we're getting, because they're not going to be paid for. Diesel said, "What's this clown Sean crying about now?" Dude, if you fucking say statements like that, don't be surprised if you're timed out. Don't be disrespectful and then fucking kiss my ass at the same time. We're talking about how American fans are hating on both Canelo Alvarez's next opponent in Berlanga and how they're hating on Bud Crawford's opponent in Israel Madrimov. And these are facts. People are hating. Yet the truth is, historically, both of these fights would have been considered very good fights and would not have got anything but praise from boxing fans. But Americans' boxing community is so fucking toxic that, of course, leave it fucking for 5 minutes and just wait for Diesel and the statement he makes. And we know who he will bring up once again, right? Because that's what he does, right? Dudes are so fucking tied together with one fighter like never seen before. It's ridiculous. Jag sup. So, you know, we just looked, of course, at the great card that Bud Crawford's going to be a part of. And it is a great card. But let's check out the rankings right now for the 168-pound division, because of course, Canelo Alvarez is crap. He's a ducker. He's a cherry picker. He's the worst thing that ever happened to boxing. Oh my God, how can we fucking allow this garbage to continue? And I say this, and I'm not even a huge fucking Canelo fan. If you are paying for this Berlanga fight, you are hurting the sport. Oh my God. Don't worry, Roger Burns. Yes, exactly. There you go. Don't worry, Roger Burns. You ain't paying, and we know that. Diesel's main objective is to one day rub 78's pig feet. Man, you could do that easy. You just have to pay him. He'd love you to make him a sandwich and rub his feet. But there we are. This is the 168-pound rankings. Obviously, David Benavidez and David Morrell just moved up to 75 pounds. People could say, oh, that's because Canelo ducked him. Yet these two fighters, who were both PBC fighters, somehow never faced fucking each other. Why? Because the PBC was ducking that fight, hoping that one of them would get a fucking payday. Right? This is the same reason David Benavidez literally fucking was a champion twice and never fought any other champion at the 168-pound division. Not fucking Smith, not Zerto, not fucking anybody, not fucking Plant, a fight that boxing fans literally were pushing for. But these guys waited, hoping to fucking cash their names out against an opponent, and waited too long until other people did the work. Now Benavidez is going to move up and try to take on the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. Great. Excellent. Can't wait. And Morrell moved up chasing David Benavidez, who, of course, is going to continue to duck him, because there's no way David Benavidez's team is going to have him fight David Morrell. So you look at the rankings for the WBC. Christian Mbila, great fighter, but nobody knows who he is. Jaime Munguia, Canelo beat him. Diego Pacheco, great fighter, but a guy that didn't look great in his last fight. Kevin Saggio, the old French fighter, super entertaining. Alicius Iglesias, probably the best fighter in the division now that David Morrell's moved out. My Canadian brethren, Eric Bazinian, Derevchenko, Plant, Berlanga at number 9. WBA, Berlanga number 1. Christian Mbila, fucking Guatemalan Lester Martinez. If you never watched this kid fight, go watch him. I would love to see Lester Martinez fight Christian Mbila. What a fucking fight that would be. And that's the thing as a real boxing fan. I know that fight doesn't make money, but I don't care. I know it ain't for a title, but I don't care. I'm looking to see great fighters fight each other, and looking at their style, I know that is a great fight, kind of like Berlanga versus Canelo Alvarez, right? Then I look at William Skull, and I don't want to see William Skull fight Canelo Alvarez because he's fucking boring as fuck, hasn't beaten anyone in the top 15, and isn't going to make an exciting fight. We've already seen Canelo fight boring fighters at 168 pounds. Plant, fucking, and of course, Billy Joe Saunders. I'm not excited to watch him fight William Skull. Shishkin, no. Mbila, Berlanga, Pacheco, yes. Right? You throw in Mbila, Berlanga, Pacheco against Canelo Alvarez, and I'll be super excited. And of course, then you have the WBO. Pacheco, Bazinian. I don't know how he's ranked above Mbila. That's a fight that should happen. Two guys fighting out of Canada. Berlanga, Munguia. And then this other dude who I don't know who the fuck he is. He must be South African. Try saying his fucking name. Paulinus. No, I can't click. Jingmingo. But, obviously that fight won't sell because nobody knows who that fucking cat is. Mbila beat Sergey. I'm sure he'll be next up. I love me some Tank. David should get destroyed by Bivol Benavidez. Man, he's going to get beat. According to Stormy B-Man, Canelo is terrified of Mbila. Well, of course, a PBC, LDBC fanboy like Stormy B would say that. Why would he be terrified of Mbila? Mbila is a great fighter, but literally has fought fucking nobody, right? Him fighting Derevchenko is a great fight, but how much credit did Jaime Munguia get for fighting Derevchenko? Little to none, right? So him fighting Mambilla, I think it's a good fight. It's a good payday for him. It definitely puts him in the conversation for big fights. And as I said, there's a lot of good potential opponents for him. And now that Saudi Arabia is funding top-ranking Golden Boy cards, look forward to some good fights between these guys. Because 168 pounds is not just about Canelo Alvarez. There's a ton of fucking great fights at that weight class. And thank you, Saudi Arabia. They're going to make the fights. And they're going to stop people from only focusing on the Canelo Alvarez money fight, because literally they're going to make good money fighting top contenders, which is great for the sport of boxing. Canelo versus Ward, who has the edge? Right now, fucking Canelo destroys Andre Ward. 40-year-old fucking inactive fucking fighter. It ain't even a fight. Who cares? Does anybody even want to watch that fight? Not at all. Andre Ward isn't even going to come back. He's clout chasing to fucking sell something, which is what he does. But let's look at these rankings just to put in perspective. I like Mambilla. He's exciting, but the dude is fucking as one-dimensional can be. 29 years of age, right? You know, is he any better than fucking Munguia or Berlanga? Is he? Right? But people are going to right now say, oh, you should fight Mambilla. Yet these guys don't even know who Mambilla is. 27-0, 23 KOs, 29-year-old French fighter, 5'8.5" with a 72-inch reach. So he's about the same height as Canelo, but a little longer. But he doesn't use his length. Obviously, he's fighting Sergey Derevchenko, 15-5. Derevchenko, who's a career middleweight, moving up because there's money at 168 pounds. Prior to facing him, he fought Mark Heffron, a bum, Euro bum, Murdoch, Euro bum, Desmond Nicholson, good American fucking club fighter, and Gongoro, who is by and far the best opponent on his resume, right? Najib Mohammadi, obviously one time I think was a world champion. Ronald Ellis, obviously good. Damar Ware, good. Vaughn Alexander. So he's been in with a good level of opposition, quality opposition, right? But yet still, nobody in America even knows who fucking Christian Mambilla is, right? So you're going to try to hype up a fight with him and Canelo Alvarez. This guy doesn't even speak English. And you're going to wonder why this isn't a fight that the promoters are really that interested in. Crawford is going to retire Canelo. Ha, 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 ha. And you act like if Canelo Alvarez retires when he loses to Bud Crawford, somehow I'm going to close down my channel and fucking cry. I've already made a prediction video predicting that Canelo Alvarez Bud Crawford will beat Canelo Alvarez. So you should go to a different channel and peddle your fucking race baiting. Some people are saying Canelo versus Berlanga may be a cherry pick gone wrong. The fact that they are saying that means Berlanga has a shot and is on interesting fight. Well, Berlanga is a hard puncher, right? Who's going to be an entertaining fight for probably the first 4 to 6 rounds, right? Because he'll be dangerous. He'll be winging big shots. He's taller, longer. He'll try to establish his jab early. His jab is pretty powerful. And Canelo obviously is going to take a few rounds to figure him out, figure out his power, figure out his punching sort of rhythm. And then he's going to start counter punching him like he did with Jaime Munguia. I said that Jaime Munguia, based on his volume, had an opportunity to beat Canelo Alvarez. He was the taller, longer fighter, younger, faster hands, even though in that fight it was proven that his hands weren't really faster than Canelo's. And obviously Canelo was just technically a better fighter. And that's the difference between Canelo and Berlanga. Canelo's a technically better fighter, but Berlanga has all the advantages outside of that, right? It's not like Canelo's fighting some dude who's been fucking getting his ass beat and knocked out consistently. He's fighting an unbeaten top 168-pound contender, a guy that you didn't see fucking David Benavidez chasing after. Canelo is going to school Berlanga. Nah, you were crying. Shut down your channel when Tank brutally KO'd Loma. once again, I won't shut down my channel, and I won't be crying if Tank Davis knocks out Lomachenko, right? You will cry if Lomachenko fucking beats fucking Tank Davis. You will cry if Canelo Alvarez knocks out Bud Crawford. You will fucking leave fucking YouTube and go back to fucking your basement apartment and start fucking beating off again to fucking gay porn. But it won't bother me. I've been watching boxing for over 40 years. So fighters I like lose because I like boxing. Munguia was outfoxed and outmatched. And that's what's going to happen to Berlanga. But the fight with Munguia and Canelo was entertaining. As boxing fans, what we want is entertaining fights, not Shakur Stevenson, boring fights that fucking we won't watch. And we're not entertained by. And we fall asleep during. And we leave the arena during. We want to see fights that are fun and active, back and forth, where obviously one fighter proves he's better. And that's what's going to happen in this fight. It's going to be an entertaining fight. And as boxing fans, that's what hopefully we want. Just like Bud Crawford versus Israel Madrimov, also going to be a very entertaining fight. So I don't see why people need to hate on it. And the irony is, as I mentioned earlier, David Benavidez fought fucking a 40-year-old Vosdik who'd already been knocked out by fucking Beterbiev and sent into retirement for 4 years. Came back only because he was broke because of the fucking Russian-Ukrainian war. And that was what he was there for, a payday. And I told you that. And literally the fight was not entertaining because one guy was a fucking punching bag and the other guy did not have the tools or the power to fucking get rid of him. So it was a very one-sided fight that fucking didn't prove anything. Except that David Benavidez probably is not a top 5 175-pound fighter. He won't. Well, you hope he won't, because fucking otherwise you're going to be a pathetic mess, dude. David's power is a myth. Well, it's not that it's a myth. He got power, but the difference between fighting a legitimate 175-pound guy who's coming into the ring probably at 200 pounds or a 168-pound fighter who's coming in at 185 pounds when you're at 200 pounds, that's the difference, right? David Benavidez is not going to be able to use weight bully tactics at 175 pounds. Unlike 168. But so here we are. So Munguia still number 1, Mimbilla number 2, Berlanga, Demetrius Andrade. Hopefully fucking Caleb Plant fights that guy. Morrell just moved away. Iglesias, he sings a great tune. I would love to see Munguia, Mimbilla, Berlanga, fucking Morrell, Iglesias, fucking Saggio, Pacheco, fucking round robin with those dudes, right? What a fucking great group of fighters that is, outside of fucking Demetrius Andrade, who's a straight up bum, but nonetheless. So let's look at, Berlanga. 22-0, 17 KOs, 27-year-old Puerto Rican, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach, right? That's why I say this guy has all the advantages. He's the naturally bigger fighter. He's the naturally longer fighter. He's very cocky and confident. Obviously, he beat a bunch of fighters that, are similar level to what Mimbilla fought, right? You have Desmond Nicholson, right there. Marcelo Caceres, who obviously is a good, solid fighter. Canadian Stephen Rolls, Romer Angulo, a solid fighter. Jason Quigley, a bit of a cherry pick. Pedro McCrory, a bit of a cherry pick. I'm surprised Quigley actually went 12 rounds, considering he got destroyed by fucking Demetrius Andrade. Now you throw him in the biggest fight of his career. He got nothing to lose, right? And everything to gain. For Canelo Alvarez, he's got nothing to gain. Nothing. Benavidez can't weight bully at 175. That's why he said immediately after he was going back down to 168 like a coward. In what fight was Munguia outclassed? Andrade is an ice-cold bum. Andrade was never good. Andrade's good, but the problem with him, is he fucking epitomizes fucking a guy that built his career being safe. The only time he won a title was when it was vacant. He never faced any world champions, even ex-world champions in his entire career. Everybody fights ex-fucking world champions. He didn't face any ex-world champions. And I always say when you're a young up-and-coming fighter, it's smart to fight ex-champions, right? When you look at Inui fighting TJ Mahoney, ex-world champion. Obviously, he's not an up-and-comer. That's why he's getting a bit of hate for it, because people feel like, Mahoney's time and has passed. But you look at a guy like Keyshawn Davis fighting Petraza, literally Bud Crawford haters, Shakur Stevens haters, hence Keyshawn Davis haters, they literally shit on him for fighting Jose Petraza, a two-weight world champion with a great fucking resume. For a young fighter like him, that's a great opponent, right? Soon, that's the kind of level of opponent we want to see Abdullah Mason face, a guy who is an ex-world champion, brings in a lot of experience, a guy that knows what it's like to be at the top of the fucking hill. Shakur is a weight bully. He always oversizes his opponents. He looked way bigger than Artem. Canelo, on the other hand, looks smaller at 168. Well, that's the irony in this situation. Canelo Alvarez is easily one of the smallest fighters at 168 pounds. You cannot accuse him of weight bullying anyone. He's doing what Lomachenko, Floyd, and Manny Pacquiao did at the end of their careers, literally fighting bigger fighters in every single fucking matchup. Literally, right? You can't say he's cherry-picking smaller fighters or pulling fighters up, because he ain't. Everyone he's facing is much bigger than him. John McSmith's in the house. Who's crying? No one said Canelo couldn't. Mars, thank you very much. Thoughts on Munguia signing with Top Rank? I just saw that, and I'm a little confused. Does that mean he's no longer tied together with Golden Boy? His contract was completely up, so they cashed him out on a Canelo Alvarez fight, and now he's chosen to go sign with Top Rank. Truth be told, at this point in boxing, I don't think it really matters, because obviously we just saw Golden Boy and Top Rank signed with Turki Al-Sheikh, right? So they're all going to be fucking fighting each other anyway, right? Because the money is going to be there. So it doesn't really matter. The in-house promotional situation is going to be a thing of the past under Saudi Arabia, right? He talked about having the top 15 fighters in every weight division signed under him, and thus having these guys face each other, which in truth is exactly what we want. That's historically how boxing ran. If you wanted to fight the best, you need to come up the rankings by beating top contenders to put yourself at number one, earning an opportunity versus the champion. Munguia going to Top Rank. Right now, we know it opens the door for a Mbila fight, which is great news. Also, an Eric Berzinga fight, the other Canadian fighter. So, if Munguia is going to fight Mbila under Top Rank, funded by fucking Saudi Arabia, whew, I will be fucking super excited. What a fucking war that will be. Shakur is a weight bully. What a silly statement. Mash the like. By scoring criteria, Munguia beat Canelo. I heard Shakur turned down $6 million to fight Tank. No, he didn't. See, that's again you listening to fake news channels on YouTube. Literally, he was in an interview, and during this interview, Tank Davis's trainer, the one that talks too much, he was there as well. And he said, hypothetically, if Tank Davis offers you $6 million, will you take it? And Shakur said, yes. Obviously, it's a stupid statement, because now they're putting a $6 million cap on negotiation already, right? And this brings up why Lomachenko walked away from the fight. Because, everything this guy tells you shows you a little bit of insight into Tank Davis's camp. Fannin said it. Well, you definitely can't listen to anything fucking Fannin said. That dude is full of shit, and all he is fucking a clickbait master. Anyone who thinks Canelo cares about how they feel with him fighting Berlanga, he don't care about any of them. Why would he? Berlanga is a solid name on his resume. If he beats Berlanga and Berlanga goes on to have a great career, it's kind of similar to Floyd Mayweather beating a young Canelo Alvarez. If he turns out to be nothing, well, then, it's just going to be a name on a resume. Kind of like when we look at Floyd Mayweather's resume and we have guys that were really being hyped when Floyd fought them, but then didn't do anything before and didn't do anything after. So at this point, we can't really give Floyd too much credit for facing them because we see they weren't really anything special. Like that dude that used to train with Miguel Cotto, right? And was getting hyped because he was Miguel Cotto's sparring partner. Where are we? I think Zanfer is the major promoter, but Golden Boy helped collab his shows in America. But now Top Rank will be the co-promoter in the stable, which makes sense. Top Rank and Zanfer Promotions, like Tekken Promotions in Japan, always have had a working agreement. So Zanfer Mexican fighters have always had sort of an open door policy into Top Rank, into America, just like Japanese fighters with Tekken have had an open door policy to fight in America through Top Rank as well. Sean can, oh my God. Dude, you got to stop eating fucking mushrooms, man. You got to stop eating mushrooms. Those magic mushrooms are fucking with your head in a big way. But imagine, so he just said that Jaime Munguia just signed to Top Rank. I did see that, but I never really thought about the implications. Jaime, who's still very young, 27 years old, 6 foot tall, 72-inch reach, perfect size for the 168-pound division. Good knockout power. Obviously lost to Canelo by unanimous decision, showing you Canelo is not what he once was. Beat John Ryder, beat Derevchenko, beat Correa, Ballard, Rosado, Shimeda, Toran Johnson, O'Sullivan. Yes, he deserved to lose to Dennis Hogan, but at the same time, who cares? Takeshi Inui, Brandon Cook, Canadian, Liam Smith, ex-world champion, Saddam Ali. So, he fought a lot of mid-range contender type of opposition. Obviously, no elite fighters outside of Canelo Alvarez. Now, him facing Mbila, woo! That's a fucking can't-lose fight for boxing fans. What a matchup. Oh, my God. And then people were talking about a potential Diego Pacheco fight as well. Pacheco, isn't he a Golden Boy fighter? So that sort of takes that off the table for now, we would think. So it'll be interesting to see what Pacheco can do. Obviously, he's fighting Majek Selecki next, which is a good opponent. He came off of that Shan McCallum fight, did not look good at all. So it's good that he's getting 2 fights in 2024. He needs to be active because he was one of the fighters I was really hyped about, right? A guy who really looked technically good. I mean, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. A 79 fucking inch reach. That's like a heavyweight reach. If he's able to establish his jab, he should be able to pretty much beat everybody at the 168-pound division just based on an educated jab, right? And he's got enough power and puts his punches together well enough where literally he could fucking give everyone a tough night. Not you not paying attention to Shakur's opponent size. Shakur looks way bigger than his opponents. Diesel doing like Wilder. Exactly. This is boxing today. Maybe these guys he's fighting should go down in weight. Saying Shakur is a weight bully is a reach. I think it's a reach. I would never accuse Shakur Stevenson of being a weight bully. Devin Haney, yes. Shakur Stevenson, no. Shakur is not really that big. When you think about his size at 135 pounds, is probably his perfect weight because he's not very long, right? So he may struggle to move up to 140 or 147 because he's just not that big of a fighter. But obviously he's put a lot of muscle on his upper body, so he's really strong looking. But that fundamentally could be negative towards him moving forward because the way he fights, that's not the best thing that he has on his side. He needs to be fluid and fast, right? But because I think he realizes that he needs to be more powerful and get knockouts and be more exciting, he's kind of tried to put on muscle, kind of like Devin Haney did. But the problem is Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, like I said early on when they first started to become contenders, they don't have power. They never will have power. And because of that, their upside is limited because they're not going to be the kind of fighter that really grabs casual boxing fans' attention, unlike Tank Davis, right? You look at Ryan Garcia. Even when he was skinny, he was a super powerful puncher because he's a hard puncher. He generates a lot of power from his long arms and the way he fucking shoots them out. Devin Haney and Shakur are never going to have power like that, no matter what they do. They could use fucking PEDs and they still won't have power like Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis because it's a natural thing. I played basketball. I worked out like crazy. I had a 36-inch vertical. It's good. I could dunk, but some people are natural, jumping 42 inches, and they did not work as hard as I did to be able to jump. They just fucking have natural fucking body chemistry to jump higher. Some people just naturally run faster. Looks like a 140-pounder. Every fighter looks bigger on fight night. Shakur is no weight bully. Shakur bigger than any of his opponents I just named. You won't answer this, I know. Haney should train with Sugar Hill. Maybe he can help out. No. Shakur is definitely a weight bully. That's why he's on the snack team. Well, that just means he's juicing. That just means he's juicing. He's trying to fucking get his power through fucking, through a test tube. That's okay. Everybody's fucking juicing. So I don't care, right? For me, this is a non-fucking factor. I don't worry about these things because it doesn't impact what I want out of boxing. What I want out of boxing are fucking great fights, stylistically great fights. When I said that Valdez shouldn't fucking unify with Shakur Stevenson and should fight Navarrete, it's not because I hate Shakur Stevenson and I don't want him to get a big fight. It's because I know Valdez Navarrete fight is going to be a great fight. I know Valdez Shakur Stevenson fight is going to be a boring fight. And I know Shakur could fight the winner and beat them and still accomplish everything he wanted, and actually probably more, because the winner would have been hyped up that much more before they fought Shakur. But people want to push race narratives and act like, no, he deserves the fight. But Jamal Herring didn't deserve a unification fight. He's black. He was the WBO champion. He wanted a unification fight with Valdez. He wanted an opportunity to earn big money. Why didn't he deserve the fight, right? These guys exposed themselves because you don't want Jamal Herring to get the fight because you want Shakur Stevenson to get an opportunity to face Herring to win a title. And then, of course, you don't want Jamal Herring to get the unification fight, but you want Shakur to get it over other fighters. Dudes are they're not real boxing fans. They're more interested in pushing their own personal agenda on YouTube. And we fucking talked about that for years. Yesterday, JT the God was on the live, right? If anyone's been around YouTube for a long time, they know when he was a kid what kind of fan he was, his channel. And he fucking basically checked every single thing I said with regards to fucking what's his face pulling a gun on me, leading to the fucking LDBC. He's fucking not a fan of mine, but I'm not lying. Everything I say, it's not a lie. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to fucking push an agenda. I don't care if my fighters lose taking on big opponents. I was not trying to fucking have Lomachenko not fight Tank Davis. I was happy that he was going to fight Tank Davis. It's a great fight, but now he's not. So we move forward. We move towards the next great fight, Shakur and Tank, right? Boxing keeps moving. I want great fights, not the sweet science bullshit. Sweet science is fine. You just have to have the proper opponent to make the fight entertaining. Well, Shakur is not bigger than the opponents he's facing genetically. He's bigger because he's in the gym putting on weight. You can see across his chest and shoulders, he's put on a lot of weight. Thank you very much, Snack. Eventually, Snack will be exposed just like Balco. Probably. Good thing what you want is irrelevant. Well, Richard Sampson, what he says, though, is true. Most boxing fans feel the same way. They want entertaining fights, not boring fucking fights. You could see based on the way people reacted to Shakur Stevenson's last fight. People weren't excited. Shakur had to go out all over social media to defend himself. He shouldn't because it's a bad look, but he did it nonetheless. It's the same reason why people are more interested in watching Katie Taylor face Amanda Serrano, and no one gives a shit that fucking Carissa Shields is fighting some bum-ass heavyweight opponent this weekend that most people don't even know she's fighting and don't care because it's really irrelevant. Is that why Tank is the only one doing okay numbers because he's KOing dudes? Exactly. Tank Davis is entertaining. Entertaining fighters put up good numbers because casual fans want to watch them. Devin Haney finally got exposed fighting a guy his size. You will see the same with Shakur at 140. The fights will be a lot closer. Well, I don't see him moving to 140 anytime soon. I'm not concerned with numbers. I don't care whether these guys sell or not. Yeah, which in truth, Richard, is exactly what Manton is saying, right? Great fights are great fights. It just so happens that great fights do sell. Even though I did talk about Jaime Munguia versus Mbila, right? That fight will sell now because, of course, Munguia has fought Canelo Alvarez and has more name recognition. But it's a great fight, right? And there's no slick boxer there. I'm not paying $89 to see Shakur fight on pay-per-view. Not unless he's fighting Tank Davis, all right? Tank has the it factor, and he can punch. True. Facts. Like you say, I hate Tank, but everything you say, I echo. That's a fact. That's true. But it doesn't diminish the fact that Tank Davis needs to fight a better caliber of opponent if he wants to be a superstar in the sport. Shakur doesn't have to fight the way the fans want him to. It's true, Richard. He doesn't have to. But then he can't expect to become a superstar in boxing. People said the same thing about fucking Rigo. How did that work out for Rigo? How did it work out? How did Rigo's career go? Right? Erislandy Lara, the best thing that ever happened to him was the Jarrett Hurd fight and the Alfredo Angulo fight. Right? When you talk about Erislandy Lara, those are the two fights you refer to, as well as the Paul Williams robbery. Because those fights were entertaining, because he was in with an opponent that made the fights entertaining. Appeal matters. It does. This is a sport where boxers want to generate money. I know it doesn't matter what Richard doesn't care, but the boxers do care, right? The promoters care. The managers care. The networks care, right? That's why Arturo Gatti made millions and millions of dollars, even though he wasn't even really a top 10 fucking fighter, because he was marketable. People wanted to watch him fight. So he got paid big money because his fight sold on TV. Yeah, Richard, you don't care that Shakur can't be a big star. But Shakur fucking cares. That's why he's all over social media, fucking day in and day out, fucking going back and forth with people. Because he cares. He cares. Shakur can keep fighting the same way he does, but it isn't going to be a pay-per-view star. Facts. 40-year-old Lara is knocking guys clean out. Sure, bums. Because now he's not slick. Now he's fighting guys that aren't on his level, and he's sitting down on his punches, and he's doing what people fucking wanted to see years ago. And as I said, he did it on a couple occasions. Alfredo Angulo and Jarrett Hurd. He lost to Jarrett Hurd, yet he got fucking great reviews from boxing fans because of his performance, right? Because sometimes losing is winning. Sometimes when you lose a fight, you actually win. Ask Tim Bradley when he fought Ruslan. He won the fight, but in truth, he lost the fight, right? Because his brain was fucked up after that fight. But that made Tim popular. It helped him become a Hall of Famer. That was one of the biggest victories of his career. Is Jake Paul good or bad for boxing? Good for boxing. He's getting a lot of people to pay attention. Amanda Serrano's career has benefited huge, which in turn has helped Katie Taylor's career benefit huge. They are legitimate boxers, and they are legitimately fucking reaping the rewards of it. Paul is not helping boxing. He is. Tim was a great fighter. Yeah, with no power. Who used his head too much. Jake Paul has been good for Serrano's career, giving her exposure. And not just her. In turn, Katie Taylor. Those two women are going to get fucking career high paydays fighting on Netflix. Thank you very much, Jake Paul. The fact that Netflix is willing to fund live sports, boxing, and pay big money to put these events on TV is great for boxing. You don't gotta like Jake Paul. I don't watch Jake Paul's fights. I watch fucking the YouTube highlights afterwards because I ain't that fucking interested in watching Jake Paul fight, because in truth, he is a fucking real low level cruiserweight, right? He definitely helping female boxing. Paul is not helping boxing. Those fans are not going back to watching guys like Usyk and Inouye. Richard, you're wrong. You're making a sweeping judgment and generalization. Tim had no power, but his fights were entertaining. Sean, what do you think of Tim Tszyu versus Lubin? It just shows me that Tim Tszyu is kind of hurting his career by being too attached to the PBC, right? Because in truth, that's a PBC fight. That's a fight where the PBC is doing what they always did, recycling old fucking fighters like Erickson Lubin, who've been given tons of opportunities and continue to fucking fail on every opportunity. This fight doesn't help Tim Tszyu, but it could end Tim Tszyu because Lubin is dangerous. But you actually benefit not at all from fighting him. You could fight the Russian fighter for his IBF title, bring that guy to fucking Australia, and that fight would benefit Australian boxing, Tim Tszyu's career, make him a world champion, and then put him in line for unification fights and big money fights. So I don't see the sense of fighting Lubin. Not to hate on Lubin. For Lubin, it's good. I said Lubin should have chased the fucking Russian fighter from the IBF so he could become a champion. But he's getting a championship caliber opponent without necessarily going the IBF route. So for him, it's the same, win-win. Jake Paul is a better promoter than Floyd Mayweather. That's fucking true. Jake looks like he want to fight Julio C. Chavez in the future. Should. You cannot prove that fans watching Jake Paul are not watching guys like Baby Miller and Keyshawn. And you can't prove they're not. So, I agree with you on the Jake Paul opinion. Tim going to destroy Lubin. What's up with Krista Shields? She acts like a child. She is a child. She's a petulant child who fucking is jealous of everybody. And that's why she has her outbursts. PBC puts guys' careers on ice. Puts their careers on ice, but then allows these old fucking fighters no one cares about to continue fighting well past their best. Berto, Ortiz, the other one. PBC needs Tim more than he needs them, which is why I don't understand why he's buying into this PBC shit. Loma hasn't fought Shakur, and you're already giving Loma an excuse if he loses. That's sad and embarrassing. Huh? Loma doesn't need to fight Shakur. Shakur and Tank Davis are the ones that are in desperate need of legitimate opponents. Canelo runs boxing and David ducked via email. Facts, Alex. Mexican boxing #1. I don't know you was a Jake Paul fan, Sean. That's surprising to me. Well, Richard, you didn't just listen to me. I don't watch his fights. I didn't pay $80 to watch fucking Jake Paul's pay-per-view. I am not a fan of Jake Paul or his brother, but I appreciate his hustle. And unlike his brother, he's not fucking using boxing. He's actually helping boxing. You don't want to give him credit for that, but that's because you're fucking biased against him for whatever reason that may be, and that's fine. Sean, not you, bro. The AT symbol means I'm speaking to someone in the chat. Huh? I don't know. What? You know Loma is smaller and older and out his prime. You want to give Shakur credit? That's embarrassing. Well, to be fair, if Shakur beats Loma or Tank beats Loma, it's the best fight on their career. So you're going to get credit because it's the best opponent on your resume. Obviously, it's not a prime Lomachenko, and obviously other guys already beat you to the punch. So we know what you're doing. You're specifically trying to jump on the older fighter instead of doing what you should do. Fight each other. Right? That's what they should be doing. The Boxing Voice show was really good today. Ness calling David a duck, and David fans really Canelo haters all mad. You know, I don't always agree with Ness, especially early on when he was so American-centric in his boxing perspective. But he's definitely come around a lot. And definitely because he's been around boxing, he's actually learned more about the sport than he did when he first started his channel. So I appreciate him far more now than I did before. And I guess I should have jumped on his channel more because my channel would probably be bigger. They're never going to fight, so who cares? Jake Paul is dedicated to boxing. That's what I appreciate. Unlike his brother, he's dedicated to boxing. Is he ever going to be great or a champion? Of course not. But at least he's putting his heart and soul into the sport and trying to help the sport in the process. Just ask Amanda Serrano. She fucking cannot say more good things about him. Sean, learn to read the chat, laugh out loud. The @ symbol of someone chat means the message is replying to them. Sorry, I can't even see. Now you want me to fucking decipher fucking symbols? What is this, fucking Egypt? I don't agree with Ness most of the time. Benavidez fans only go hard on social media, but not when it comes to paying for Benavidez pay-per-views. Well, then they're biased because the reality of the situation is he just fought Vosdick, and they were happy with it. When he was scheduled to fight his mandatory, that bum-ass fucking dude that Canelo ended up facing, everybody was okay with it. Canelo faces him because it's his mandatory, and all of a sudden people are losing their shit. That's the problem with people that fanboy one particular fighter. Either you're only using the fighter because really you just want to push hate, or you're just a fucking ignorant boxing fan that fucking is dick riding one fighter, which shows that you're not really a real boxing fan. Yidrum, that's it. Thank you very much. YouTube isn't going to give you your old channel back. Oh, no. Which I think is crazy the way YouTube does stuff. You're going to stop my channel based on one channel who obviously has something against me, right? And what I did is not really a fucking thing that everybody else isn't doing. And the irony is, I just did a live the other day, watch along, where I had the fight in the corner and we were watching a Tank Davis fight. Not live. It was fucking old. The fight's everywhere. Literally, I'm watching it off of YouTube. I'm watching a fight off of YouTube that's illegal, but yet that fight's still on YouTube, but I get my channel shut down or my live shut down because I have the fight on. But that channel is still fucking making money putting that video on YouTube. There's some Vietnam guy who steals all of ESPN NBA type of stuff and puts it on their channel. Yet that channel has millions of followers, right? Like, I really don't understand what YouTube is doing and what the algorithm is seeing, because it's fucking mind-numbing, the fact that people steal so much content. You guys all see people that review videos for songs or movies, and literally they show the fucking whole video or the whole movie and watch along and talk about it, and their channels are still fucking there. But I do that once for boxing, and they close my channel in the middle of the live. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm not showing the fight live. This fight's old. We're rewatching it and literally stopping it between every round and discussing it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Pound for pound kings in the house. Tank used Benavidez to sell tickets, and Benavidez failed to get the KO they wanted. Exactly. Yeah, call in to TVB and say all of this about Tank, and all you see Tank fans call in defending him like the fanboys they are. They're ridiculous. What happened to your old channel? Thought they just changed your name. No, John Boxing got it shut down because he's a fucking a rat, a snitch. I didn't know you lost your page. Yo, I don't know why your content creators don't migrate to Twitch, Rumble, or Playback. Do we make more money, or do we make money on Twitch? If I go to Twitch and do this, do I still get paid from YouTube? Not that I'm getting paid right now, because I need to put in the paperwork and do all that. And I'm just like, fuck, I already did that shit. And it's fucking not easy. Too much fucking red tape. And then I had my channel, and you fucking closed my channel. And now I got to do it all again. It's obvious why your show gets blocked. It's more John Boxing fans reporting you with fake racism. Yeah, but YouTube obviously has to watch and see what are they talking about. There's nothing hateful or racist on my channel, except for often people in the comment section that bring it. You have to say you're sharing others' content for educational purposes only to avoid getting flagged or shut down. At the beginning, you say it once, and then they're going to let you go. It's crazy. These Tank channels like H Money say Tank is better than Canelo. It's funny that these dudes got nothing but bad things to say about Canelo, yet consistently clout chase Canelo to try to build up fucking Tank Davis. Crazy. Showbiz is a fanboy channel. He had the gall to say Tank never ducked Loma. Like if Tank doesn't have a voice on who he faces, he only blames Floyd. I can clearly see he's biased for black fighters. Well, he's not biased for black fighters. He's just trying to kiss everybody's ass so that he can continue to make as much money as possible off of YouTube, because now that's his full-time job. So he literally has to kiss fucking everybody's ass. And that's what he does. When you come out and push that thing, like who's the doctor or something, black guy with dreads, who was saying the same fucking thing. He literally ignored the fact that Tank Davis and Lomachenko were both champions at the same time, went to the year afterwards when Lomachenko was no longer at 130, and then tried to justify that, you know, how is Tank ducking him, blah, 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 blah. You know, dudes are so full of shit. So fucking such liars. YouTube takes the accuser's word without proof. They do, apparently. I love hearing those channels. They're funny how ridiculous they sound. The latest one is that Boots is too great that he stops Canelo. Again, that's like people saying Abdullah Mason fucking, you know, stops fucking whoever. People got to let dudes fucking build their career. Facts, YouTube ain't keeping the same energy for watch-along channels. Facts. I can literally go on YouTube right now and watch fucking live movies in whole. I can go watch fucking college basketball games, which is where I watch my college basketball. Thank you very much, YouTube. Don't stop. Because living in Taiwan, it's the only way I can actually watch Kentucky play basketball. But literally, I watch Kentucky basketball, not live, but post when they just repost the fucking game. And I get to watch the games. And I'm like, thank fucking Christ, because otherwise, how would I ever watch these sports? But at the same time, it's like they're allowed to do that. For the whole fucking year, I consistently go back to the same channel all the time to watch every single Kentucky game. So, no, not Dr. Umar. It's a young kid whose channel is pretty new. Showbiz has turned into Tank fanboy channel because of the largest fan base. Also, he has recently started working with the PBC. He announced it like 2 weeks ago. Weren't you going to debate knockout boxing at one point? We did debate. We debated several times on his channel, and then he was over on my channel, right? But what is there to debate? Knockout boxing is a shill for Errol Spence, which has been exposed. So now he no longer talks about Errol Spence. And now he's a shill for fucking Tank Davis. He still hates on Bud Crawford because he's in his emotions because Errol Spence's narrative was exposed. He acts like everybody's ducking Tank Davis, yet Tank Davis is older than fucking everyone, had more chances to fight top opposition, but still hasn't. But it's always someone else's fault, right? And it's like, it cannot always be everybody else's fault, right? And the irony is guys like that are the first people to criticize Canelo Alvarez. Sean, have you been watching the Winning Time series? No, what's that? Funny how they penalize you, a factual channel, but don't do anything to actual racists like John and Bruce Lame. I know. PBC grasping at straws because they're dying out. Cool, gonna catch those streams. Well, the reality is PBC should just do what they should do. Sign with fucking DAZN, get extra funding from Saudi Arabia, and fucking make boxing great by literally putting all of that content on DAZN so that you and me, if you live in America, for you, you don't care so much. But for me, who doesn't live in America, it fucking makes my life so much better because now there's only one fucking thing I need to pay for, and it's literally global. Of course, poundforpoundboxing.com, they probably won't like that. I'm going to subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much, brother. Sean, how the hell you ended up in Taiwan? Yeah, he debated IBFP on his channel and lost badly. Also, Ring IQ. I was working in Canada with delinquent kids for the Ministry of Family and Children. Good job. Get paid good money. Obviously, good benefits. But the problem is now you're working. You can't really travel. I'm in a house full of 30-year-olds living in a house with 6 people in downtown Vancouver. So we got a great location. But you just see your future and you think, I'm not going to be able to buy a house unless I live in the valley and have to commute fucking back and forth over bridges for hours. Don't have a lot of money, spare money to travel and go away. Obviously, my job, I can get a vacation. And obviously, you stay later, you can get more vacation. I could always claim that I got injured on the job, and then I could be off fucking for long. And that was also a problem. Your coworkers are off fucking on extended leave all the time, and now you're working with new people causing trouble. So I just said, fuck it, and moved to Asia to teach English just so I could travel and, do what I want to do. And now in hindsight, I would be close to being retired in Canada. Where are we? Showbiz, the infant is a clown and flip-flopper. I thought Bud was going to win, but I don't know he was going to destroy Spence like that. Mayton, tell all your friends. Subscribe. I need another 100 and something to get to 1,000. Michael Montero is the boxing channel I agree with most. Sorry, Sean. He had the better pound-for-pound list. A better pound-for-pound list? So what was different from Michael Montero's pound-for-pound list and mine? Because me and Mike, we agree a lot. And obviously, we did some shows together on pound-for-pound boxing back in the day. And pretty much, I was cool with his wife before they were married. She was very nice. And we have a lot of similarities in the way we look at the sport of boxing. There's a biopic show about 80s Showtime Lakers and Celtics. It's pretty good. Okay, I think I watched it initially, and then I think, didn't it have like a break mid-season or something, and I haven't picked it up since then. Is that on what network? Apple or what? Because I think there was 2 Lakers shows that came out around the same time. Lucky you, Sean. I can't wait to retire and leave the West. Tired of all these victim-entitled idiots. Sean, were you pissed when the Grizzlies went to Memphis? Fucking pissed. I lived in Vancouver. And then fucking, you know how many fucking Grizzlies games I went to? I literally went to Grizzlies to watch the fucking NBA draft, right? Obviously, it wasn't happening there, but they showed it on big screens. You're there with all the Grizzly fans. It was fucking excellent, man. It was great for the city to have two big teams, right? The Canucks and the Grizzlies. And Vancouver is a very culturally diverse city. If you would have drafted properly and built a team to win, they would have been successful. The problem is they always knew they wanted to leave, get the team out of there. I mean, I can't believe fucking Seattle lost a team. Seattle, who literally has won an NBA title. You take two teams out of the Northwest and put them into the Midwest. Who the fuck? They got college football. They don't need fucking NBA. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So now in Seattle, they still have football and baseball. So they still have two major sports. So they can have football, but they can't have basketball. And in Canada or Vancouver, what? Now there's only the NHL. Literally one fucking team. H Money got his fame off of TBV, Mr. DAZN. He's just a scrawny little kid. Facts. Oh, Pound for Pound King, thank you very much. Cheers, brother. Coffee on me, Sean. You're a good man, Chopin. And luckily, I live in the middle of Taiwan. We're getting hit by a typhoon right now, so I'm on holiday anyway, but everybody obviously is on holiday around the country today because of a typhoon. But where I live right now, it's not even raining outside. It always happens. We get days off because of a typhoon, but literally it doesn't rain. Nothing happens. Does American money have a lot of value in Taiwan? Right now, I think it's 33 NT for a dollar. So I think it's pretty consistent for the last 20 years that I've been here. I think it's fluctuated between 34 and 29. So it hasn't really moved too much. So it's pretty consistent. It's an HBO Max. Cool. I saw H Money shadow boxing guys, acts tough, but he can't fight. It was terrible. Yeah, hopefully the Super Sonics come back and the Kings should move to Vegas. They've been talking about that, right? And the Kings right now, I don't think Sacramento would want to lose them because they're pretty good. You know, they're definitely a contender and a young team. Will Chocolatito fight Takumi Inoue? That's a great fight, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to fight Inoue, even though if he went to Japan, part of Tekken Promotions, and fought Inoue in Japan, that would be a huge fight. They could easily sell out fucking 30, maybe 40,000 stadium with Roman Gonzalez. Roman Gonzalez was a legend, right? Built his whole career up in Japan before moving to North America. But I think he's going to probably fight the WBO champion, Nishida, the light punching boxer, even though I think it'd be better for him to fight the hard punching kid, right? Because that hard punching kid really lost to fucking the Australian. He hits hard, but fundamentally he's brutal. Roman Gonzalez will fucking tear him apart like he did Martinez, right? So I think that's the better fight. He should definitely go after the IBF champion, in my opinion. The NBA is supposed to be expanding in 2026. Seattle, Vegas, Vancouver, and Mexico City are likely candidates, but only two teams, though. See, obviously, Canada, Mexico City, now you bring in crossing the border issues and fucking people living in Mexico, NBA players. Like, people didn't want to move to play in Toronto. In fucking Toronto. Toronto is way better than fucking Minnesota, Milwaukee, fucking Boston, fucking a shitload of teams in fucking the States. Vancouver, I can understand because it's all the way over in the West. I mean, it's close to obviously Portland and Seattle, but then you have long plane flights to all the East Coast games and South teams. But Mexico, I understand they want to branch out, but I don't think the time is right. I mean, they were talking under Trump building a fucking wall. So, and then with the fucking cartel killing everybody, I don't think Mexico is the way to go. But they should probably bring a team to fucking Vegas or at least Seattle. Vegas and Seattle makes sense. I would like Vancouver, but, you know. Showbiz is biased for black fighters. Example, he said it's okay, Crawford, to say he'll beat the burritos out of Benavidez any form of racism is wrong. Well, that's true, right? You just got to keep the same energy. If I said it's okay to beat the fucking fried chicken out of fucking John Boxing, people would say I'm being racist. That's not fucking different. You're using racial stereotypes and using them in a negative way. It's like when Floyd Mayweather said that fucking Manny Pacquiao ate cats. It was racist, right? But that's the problem with US right now. If you're black, you can't be racist. You go on social media, you see some of the things people say. Oh man, all white people should die. Like literally stuff like that. Blatantly horrible fucking stuff, right? But then a guy says ni hao to a Chinese person and all of a sudden he gets fucking canceled. I live in Asia. Every single fucking person I see says hello to me. Hello. Maybe I don't speak English. So isn't it the same as me seeing an Asian person and saying ni hao? Maybe I'm too ignorant to differentiate between Korean, Japanese, fucking, and Chinese, which for most people, it's true. Most people don't know the difference. I think Chaka will beat both those guys. Me too. Imagine if a non-black boxer said that he'll beat the watermelon out of a black boxer. Yeah, exactly. Bring back the Supersonics. For sure, they have to bring back the Supersonics. Didn't Vancouver used to have a team, or am I tripping? No, Mars, they had the Grizzlies with Big Country Reeves, Michael Bibby, fucking Sharif Abdul-Rahim. That was their core. The problem is that they're limited, athletic. Big Country is a big guy who wasn't a great rebounder or a great defender, even though offensively he had skill. He would not fit into today's NBA. Sharif was great, but his outside three-point shot was mediocre. He was a great post-up player. So him and Sharif could play off of each other, high-low post, but wasn't a great defender. Didn't have really fast feet. Michael Bibby wasn't athletic. They were supposed to draft Stevie Francis to be with Bibby, which would have made us have a far more explosive backcourt with a superstar in fucking Francis. But Francis refused to come to Vancouver. Dickhead. And then what happened to his career? Fucking nothing. Everybody loves fried chicken, though. That's true. In Asia, fucking Chinese people love fried chicken. In Japan, what do they eat for fucking Christmas? New Year's? New Year's? But KFC, not fried chicken, KFC. That's the Japanese tradition, KFC. So 1 year, fucking KFC is working like dogs because everybody's ordering KFC. Race baiting, cry racism to justify their racism. Exactly. Attendance was excellent in Vancouver, even while they were losing. Why they move? Because the owner was from Oklahoma. Do you think LeBron would survive Bad Boy Pistons, Magic Bird era? Of course he would. That dude is fucking almost the same size as fucking Rick Mahorn. Right? Literally. LeBron James is almost as big as fucking Rick Mahorn. Like, how big was Rick Mahorn? Let's fucking Google search it. I met that guy. He's fucking big. I used to go to a strip bar to watch live boxing. And, of course, the Grizzlies were in Vancouver at that time. So all the NBA guys would come over to this strip club, which was the best strip club in Vancouver, Marble Arch. And these guys were there. You see Patrick Ewing on the wall. Fucking what a giant fucking man. Giant. Fucking giant. And Rick Mahorn, that dude looked like you could not fucking even look at him and he'd fucking kill you. So needless to say, I was there watching boxing and then having beers and watching a bit of strippers on the side. So I didn't engage with the NBA guys at all. They did not look like they were fucking interested in saying hello to anybody, even though they could have sat down at my table instead of sitting on the wall, watch the strippers and watch boxing. We could have talked boxing. Me and Rick Mahorn talking boxing, that would have been fucking great stories. Imagine. How big is Rick Mahorn? 6'10". So he's probably an inch taller than fucking LeBron James. 240, about the same weight, 110 kg. So literally LeBron James would be as big as him. Obviously, Bill Laimbeer is bigger, but okay. LeBron is a physical specimen. He is. I always said he is like fucking Karl Malone, except you imagine Karl Malone playing guard, and then you have LeBron James. And then you wonder why he's been so dominant scoring points. Who was the number 2 point scorer in the NBA? Karl Malone. Nobody thinks Karl Malone is the second best player in NBA history behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But because of his physicality and the way he was able to have a long career, he was able to score so many points. LeBron don't even lift heavy weights. He does a lot of bands and body weight exercises. Yeah, he does. Virgil Ortiz might get upset like Navarrete against the Ukraine, bro. That's a great fight, right? The good thing is the Ukrainian guy has proven that his chin isn't that great, right? But he's got power, and technically he's a pretty good fighter. So that fight is really, really interesting for probably the first 4 rounds. Like either one of those two dudes potentially could get knocked out in 4 rounds. Obviously, Virgil has shown that his chin's pretty good. So we expect out of a war between these two, it's probably the Ukrainian guy that's going to get fucking stopped. MJ still the GOAT, though 6-0, baby. 6-0. Yeah, I mean, people love to dick ride LeBron. LeBron is a great player. I mean, look right now who's carrying the Olympic team. And obviously, he had a super long career because he's a physical fucking specimen. But let's fucking be honest. He's no fucking Michael Jordan. I predict T.O. versus Taylor and Ryan versus Haney. I predicted. Oh, okay, good. Now, can you predict that Shakur is going to get a fight with Tank Davis? Because that's what we want to know. We want to know if that fight is going to happen, because that's a fight both of those guys need. Look, it looks like it's even getting sunny outside. And it's a typhoon, and I smell like ass. Curry or Magic, who's the best point guard of all time? Neither. Neither are the best point guard of all time. Curry is the best shooter of all time. Magic Johnson was a phenomenon, being a 6'9" point guard, but with a terrible fucking shot. Not even a jump shot, a set shot. Imagine fucking trying to get that set shot off in the NBA today, right? MJ is more fluid, skillful, and graceful. I can predict Shakur will keep putting people to sleep. Knocking him out? Putting him to sleep? Shakur putting people to sleep, just like Tank Davis. Damn. That's a fucking picture right there. Imagine that. Fucking Tank Davis standing over a guy fucking KO'd. Shakur standing in the ring and fucking the crowd fucking snoring. That's a great fucking meme. What did Tank Davis and Shakur have in common? They both put people to sleep. I predict Shakur will fight Navarrete. He won't fight Navarrete. Navarrete moved back down to 130 pounds. He's most likely going to rematch Oscar Valdez. Black fighters won't fight another black fighter. They duck each other. That's true. That's true. That's true. And that's unfortunate because those two brothers need each other, right? Shakur's getting hated on because he's boring as fuck. Fight Tank Davis. There's no fucking way in hell a Tank Davis-Shakur Stevens fight is going to be boring. No way. Impossible. Are my ears getting bigger, or is it just me? Or is my hair just shorter? My grandfather had some big fucking giant Dumbo ears, man. Jesus Christ. But he also had a big nose. My nose is small, so I'm hoping I don't look like Dumbo when I get older. But maybe that'll be my selling point to fucking my channel. Where are we? You underestimate how much Shakur can run, bruh. To be fair, I can't imagine Shakur doing what Erislandy Lara did in the Canelo Alvarez fight, literally running with his back to fucking the fighter. I can't see him doing that. Tank Davis showed that he was good at cutting off the ring, right? Putting front foot pressure on his opponent, weeding them into the corner. So I think it's going to be, maybe it won't be fucking fight of the year, but it definitely won't be considered boring. We already know that the SOG, they make Mexicans versus Mexicans all the time. For example, Lindolf is going to fight Brian Flores and try to knock him off like he did versus Angula, all at 140. Well, Lindolf is fucking the best fighter out of them. He's a guy who really at this point should be a little further in his career, but because he signed originally with a bad promoter, his career's been a little delayed. What's the boxing channel you watch most? Ring IQ makes a lot of content, boxing updates. I watch mostly Ring IQ, Hatman Boxing. Obviously, I watched a lot of Ade Aladipo, but now he's very busy, obviously, now that he's broken out into the mainstream. I watch Wave quite a bit. I used to watch my man from Baltimore quite a bit. Main Man. I don't know why I haven't watched him recently. IBFP. A lot of times you sort of forget, right? So if somebody pops up on your feed, you know, it sort of brings it up. I don't really watch H Money ever since he fucking gang jumped me when I went on his channel to be friendly and nice, because he used to come on my channel and be friendly and nice. So I went on his channel, and then he just fucking was a fucking idiot, right? So I'm like, fuck that dude, man. He's trying to fucking use me to build up his channel full of fucking 17-year-old fucking idiots. Shakur is scared to get punched first time those knees buckle. He's going to get on his bike. Yeah, I could see that. Paulo Agulo got put through the meat grinder against Lindolf. I do agree they use Mexican versus Mexican to weaken them. Another example is Navarrete Valdez and now Rayo Pitbull. They also are just successful fights that make money for the promoters. And this is the reason why HBO went away from a lot of Black American boxers in their channel. Less aggravation, lower expectations, easier to fucking make big fights. That's why Eastern Europeans flooded into their market as well, because they were able to not have to deal with fucking wanting too much money. They made the good fights. They entertained the crowd. And that's why they fucking got a lot of the fights when a lot of Black American fighters fell off. And people say it's based on race. No, it's based on money. They got better with two-tone on Musty Energy. Made Man is from DC. Paise. I watch Southpaw because he's funny. I can't watch that dude. He's fucking mental. I can watch a lot of mental channels. I watch a little bit of Fannin, a little bit of Ego, a little bit of 78s, but only when he does short videos. I can't stand those long fucking videos. They don't even talk boxing. There's so much bullshit going on, and none of it's fucking boxing related. So I'm just like, whatever. A little bit of Dante's Boxing Nation, even though he's pushing the same bullshit he pushed fucking 15 years ago. A little bit of Bruce Lame, a little bit of knockout boxing, but he's totally fallen off. He used to be a dude that I praised because, unlike the rest of those fucking clowns, he was a boxing channel. Now he's went away from being a boxing channel to be a fucking fanboy channel. I just subbed to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I listen to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I respect him and his boxing knowledge, but we got a bit of history. Notice all the Mexicans fight each other. They keep boxing popping in America, unlike Black Americans always avoid each other. And when they fight, it's spilled milk. And you got to wait fucking 8 years. Something is seriously wrong with Southpaw and BFTB. Fucking mental cases. Did you ever watch What repeat CCD or El Jefe experience? No. SOG, those promotions know what sells, and it's not the sweet science bullshit. True. Musty energy is the new buzzword. Boxing, have you been saying musty energy, Sean? What the fuck is musty energy? Musty energy. You watch Caliacs? I do. D Style, not so much. Maton 50, and of course, what's his face? Ness occasionally, but his things are so long. At least it's boxing related. And what's his face? Friends with D Style, who used to be on fucking Boxing Voice. Stop Fighting and Bare Knuckles are getting more popular. Sean, are you familiar with Black Fight Fan? I like Black Fight Fan, right? Out of all the LDBC channels, he's the one guy that I probably watch the most, but I haven't watched him recently. I used to watch a little bit of blood boxing, but he's really up and down, hot and cold, emotional, sometimes attacking his fan base, sometimes attacking others. Got to watch TBV to know, laugh out loud. Nah, I'm sticking to boxing until Canelo retires. The problem with TBV is they had that one black dude from Toronto, from Canada, and that dude was a fucking douchebag. Idiot. So I couldn't watch them when he was there because I just wanted to punch him in his face. Luckily, he's not there any longer. Ellie Setback is a habitual fanboy and Jack Straub sniffer. Well, I don't watch him because his videos are shit, garbage. There's nothing worth fucking paying attention to. Sean, I don't know. Some black dude from Toronto. I don't know his name because I thought, what a fucking asshole. Dwyer is good, but Dwyer, right? Sometimes Dwyer is a little too fucking long-winded in breaking down his boxing and talks a little bit about the whole gambling betting thing, which I don't really care about because I don't gamble, and doesn't put out a lot of content, and then his delivery is really flat. So sometimes you really got to be in the right mood. What you need thinks he's never wrong. What you need, his channel became irrelevant 10 years ago. I didn't even know he still made fucking videos. Ready for the Olympics? Getting there. Ellie reporting. Thoughts on Thunderdome boxing talk? Again, Thunderdome does long lives to try to get as much money as he can out of YouTube, and I just can't listen to hours and hours of fucking lives videos. Two Zone. Who's Two Zone? To zone or not to zone? You mean the guy that was a Keith Thurman fanboy? I used to listen to him. I know he's come back, but I haven't really watched him too much since then. Nordic is decent. Nordic has his moments. Sometimes he comes out with good videos that I like to watch, but sometimes he tends to be really racially biased. Really racially biased. To the point where it's so blatant that I'm just like, never mind. You're just giving people fucking an excuse to now fucking point fingers at every non-black YouTuber and call them racist. Lady Chan is so. Yeah. I listen to her on Ring IQ and Cigar Talk is good. Not bad. Yeah. I think that's the new TBV host. Who? Two Zone. Lady Chan is whack. They're all racially biased. All they talk about is two divisions, especially H Money, just Tank, Boots, Shakur, and Bud. That's it. Well, that's the problem with a lot of those YouTube channels. Literally, all they do, and then throw Ryan Garcia in there as well, is talk about the same fucking boxing day in and day out. Lady Chan be ruining Boxing IQ lives. I don't really watch Boxing IQ's lives, right? Because it's the same. They do a lot of talking, but not so much about boxing. And I just can't stay interested. His short videos that he's editing and stuff, excellent. You just skim past the women's boxing and you get into the content. But the lives, yeah, I'm not feeling them. Paulie TV is good. Paulie is good, but Paulie's a fucking asshole. You know, he hates fucking Canelo so much, but yet he's willing to fucking look past everybody else. Two Zone, the superstar, I think it's his full name. Pro Box is garbage. I like Pro Box. Pro Box is good. At least, you know, you get a lot of different opinions from real fucking boxers. I do think Algeria is the best out of the bunch, that's for sure. Same hate that they go off boxing for hours. Drew Titan used to be good until he went pro-black. True Media Boxing is another good channel. Yeah, at the same time, I kind of get sick of his shtick as well. Dante wants Ryan to get killed, bro. He's nuts. Really? Is Dante saying that now? I thought that's more of a Drew Titan type of fucking scenario. Porter Way is boring, and that black guy doesn't know fucking anything about boxing. I know you're friends with Sean Porter, but why are you on his fucking channel? Literally, you know fucking nothing. And Sean Sattel, he knows a lot, but he's also fucking an idiot a lot of the times. He's got the good R&B radio voice. What did Diabetes Cheeseburger Nation say about Ryan? Well, I don't know if Diabetes Cheeseburger Nation is the right name for him anymore. Now he's living in Thailand, so he's probably eating a lot of cock and you know, Thai delicacies. I'm trying to think of Thai food names, and I can't think of anything. Fuck, man. Papaya salad, and I can't think. He got famous on Twitter by dick riding Ryan Garcia like crazy. Once Ryan retweeted him 2-3 times, he blew up. Who's that? Sattel worries too much about hurting people's feelings. Well, because he's trying to be real media, right? But at the same time, it didn't stop him from fucking being an asshole towards a newie, right? You know, you're shitting on a newie, but you don't understand Japanese culture. Really, that's what you're telling me. And then I think he's doing it mostly because his friend True School Sports went to Japan and probably felt like he spent all that time and money, but yet didn't get enough out of it as far as content. But that's because he went in unprepared, unprofessional, didn't fucking have things set up before he went, as far as I know. And obviously there's a huge language barrier, so you better fucking have a translator, right? And you should have a car. I mean, obviously these are financial things that you need to do, but if you're going to go to Japan and try to fucking go to gyms and interview these people, you need to set up fucking dates. You need to have a translator, and it's best if you have a fucking car to drive you around so it's convenient and easy. Oh, Two Zone the superstar. Sean Porter makes Steve Urkel and Carlton Banks look like Barry White. Marzi said Ryan should stay out of the hood before he gets a cap in his dome. Oh, well, like he knows. He lives in fucking Thailand. He can't be honest on those channels. Then they call you racist at an easy cop out and start getting personal. Wonder if Porter will be doing the boxing for the Olympics again. Jim Lampley needs to be back on TV. Sean, do you play games? New boxing games. Undisputed is coming out soon. No. How is Dante still 300 pounds if Asian food is healthy? He only used to have no more than 10, 15 views on YouTube, 50 to 80 Twitter followers. Now he's getting better known. Ryan went on his lives 2 or 3 times and then had roid rage. Lampley is the voice of boxing. Who will replace Skip Bayless? Well, that's why I say Turkey El Sheik, Eddie Hearn. These dudes need to fucking retweet me and give me some fucking highlights because, you know, I say good things about them consistently. But I ain't kissing their ass. I'm just keeping it real. Who will replace Skip Bayless? Who fucking cares? Skip Bayless, whole fucking black white face fucking scenario that he had with Stephen A. Smith and then tried to replace him with another black guy. That fucking whole race thing that the media uses is old, man. Every single fucking channel tries to play off that whole race fucking scenario. One black guy, one white guy. If you're black, he's the good guy, he's the bad guy. If you're white, he's the good guy, he's the bad guy. And it's like, what does fucking the race have to do with opinion? I never agree with Skip Bayless. So him being white is fucking irrelevant. Is Champ Side good to you? Garbage. What about WAW Boxing? He does a regular show with Rick Glazer. Maybe I've caught one because Rick Glazer was on it. Why Skip get fired again? He didn't get fired. He stepped down. Apparently, that's the narrative. He skipped down. But at the same time, Skip Bayless is 70 fucking years old. Just like PFP. You know, what's that ESPN show with the black and white guy? Will Bond and the white guy. Will Bond is like 70 now, and the white guy must be fucking 80. Looks good. But those two dudes, man, it's time for them to fucking retire. Hang it up and move on. Bradley can't hold a candle to Max Kellerman. That's true. That's true. You might not like Max Kellerman. I used to listen to Max Kellerman do like a live podcast from New York. What a fucking asshole that guy is. Like, really, fucking asshole. Nobody could listen to his podcast and not understand he is a fucking egocentric prick, right? But as a boxing pundit, great. Contract dispute, yeah. Skip says Mike's the GOAT. You disagree? Well, on that, I agree. Shannon wanted to do his own thing, and I guess he just decided to can Skip at that point. Skip wanted $7 million a year. Well, that's what I think it was, a money issue with most of those guys, right? They wanted big money, but yet, from what I heard, his show wasn't doing that successful, I guess, after Shannon left. But then again, fucking Shannon. How is Shannon fucking the voice of sports? I know he was a pro football player, but what does he know about anything else? Kellerman sucks. I hate Kellerman. Yeah, I hate him, but he's good for boxing. Max is original YouTuber before YouTube. He did it on open access. I wish Lampley would commentate again. But again, he's also fucking old, right? And then you have the whole fucking racist segment on YouTube who fucking hate him and think that he's a racist and hates every single black fighter. Stephen A. Smith did Max dirty by forcing ESPN to fire him. Stephen A. Smith is a prick. A prick. You ever notice that woman that called him out on his show? The black girl with short hair? She never been on the show again since then. Right? Paul Pierce breathes a little life back into Undisputed. Paul Pierce also is fucking stupid. Right? When you talk basketball, fine. But then anything else? Come on. Paul Pierce, I know he went to Kansas, but I don't know if he fucking graduated. Yeah, emasculated him. I want Iguodala. Iguodala? I don't know Iguodala and how he is live, but as a person, I like him. But I'm not sure if he's good doing that kind of thing. There's a few people that aren't bad over the time. Like Paulie Malignaggi was very good. And obviously it makes sense that he does these shows. Chris Algieri is good. Right? Trying to find an ex-boxer who's well-spoken and understands the difference between, sports media and pushing narratives, that's the fine line. Steven Jackson. Steven's biased as fuck, man. Biased as fuck. I actually like Jason Whitlock podcast. Yeah, but he's like the antithesis of Stephen A. Smith, right? It'd be better if you had both of them on a show together. Sean, do you have any boxing buddies out there in Taiwan? No. Paulie is very articulate. I like Broussard and Rob Parker's podcast. I don't mind it. I like Broussard. Broussard's always been good. Roy Jones used to be good, but he is on the Black Power now. Well, and he's also just old and mumbles and doesn't stay on topic, easily distracted, right? Too many punches in the head. But apparently, Andre Ward is going to be joining Steven Jackson, right? Steven Jackson. Who was with Steven Jackson before? Wasn't it a football player? So now it's going to be Steven Jackson and Andre Ward, just the two of them. It's like kind of like Gilbert Arenas. First, when I was listening to his show, I didn't really like it, but I'm kind of warming up to it. I don't know who I'd want on my boxing production. Basketball. Well, you want somebody with funny stories, right? So when you have dead air time, they can tell you funny analogies of things that happened when they were in the NBA. Because people love hearing what real players went through, right? You know, at the strip bar, at the hotel, whatever, you know, just stories, not like offending anybody, but just an inside look. But also somebody that you can play off of and understands their roles, well-spoken. Nasty combination, Jackson and Ward. Matt Barnes, that's true. He was Matt Barnes. So is Matt Barnes still there, or is Matt Barnes stepping down and they're replacing him with Ward? Or is it going to be Ward, Barnes, and Jackson? Gil podcast is dope. Yeah, I like Gil's podcast. I don't always agree with Gil, but then I like Kenyon Martin because he's exactly the person that he is, man. Ever since he was in college, in the NBA, he's a give no fuck type of dude, man. He's funny as hell. He's so fucking straight, yet so fucking don't give a fuck. He'll just call it like as he sees it. Whether you agree with him or not, he don't give a fuck. The sexy black girl from the Sparks, she's cute, brings a little different dynamic. And then, of course, you got the two other dudes. The one dude, the lefty shooting point guard, what's his name? He doesn't say too much. So I'm sure he's buddies and stuff with them, but he doesn't really bring too much to the show. Hollow Ninja, what's up? But then the other dude, the big muscular guy, was like a shooting guard. He's good because he just contradicts everything Gilbert Arenas says. So at least you get like that little back and forth between the two of them. Chris Mannix's terrible boxing score. He gave Haney every round against Garcia that wasn't a knockdown. Me too. Every round that wasn't a knockdown, and the one round where Haney was visibly hurt, I gave Devin Haney. He easily was winning that fight. Outside of the fact, every time he got touched by a left hand, he got hurt. I can't give you a round where you get dropped or fucking visibly, you're visibly hurt. So everybody can see. But outside of that, I thought he won every round. That's why I thought going the distance, you could have gave him a draw, kind of like Fury and Wilder, even though most people didn't think the fight should be a draw. Brandon Jennings, that's who I mean, Brandon. I'm sure he's friends and buddies with them and they get along well, but he's got very little personality. I think he's stoned all the time on the show, and he's like me when he's stoned. He just sits back and fucking watches the show, don't have much to say. And when he does say something, he sounds a little fucking retarded. That's me when I'm stoned. Nah, you know what I mean. His charge just shortened it. I like the dude that does the show with Teddy Atlas, Ken Rideout. Oh, I don't like that dude. McCants challenges Gil. Yeah, McCants. There you go. Yeah, that fight was close. I got to revisit the fight. I had Haney 7-5. You had Haney 7-5. He got knocked down 3 times, and in the first round, he got fucking seriously buzzed. So that's 4 rounds plus the extra point, right? So 4 plus, that's like 7. So you could easily see it 7-5 Ryan, right? Didn't Ryan get a point taken. I can't remember. If he did, then that justifies my draw scorecard. I think I'm the only person that said I could see it being a draw. Hey, Sean, if you're looking for a good show to watch, check out Shogun. Come on, dude. Been there, done that. Go watch the original Shogun. I know it's dated from the 70s, but it's fucking excellent. Excellent. 20 years ago when I was living in Vancouver and it was dated then, me and my buddy, it was being reshown every Sunday. So fucking we got pizza, smoked big fat ones, and it was like, Shogun! And every Sunday we were excited to watch it. It was excellent. So I was super excited when the remake came out. I think the original is better, but obviously this one is way more money, way clearer, way better look. But I do think the original one was better. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. They're coming out with season 2. Actually, I talked to the main actor on a chat line. He asked which one did I think was better, and I said I thought the original was better, and he gave me a thumbs up. And I said, but don't get me wrong, I love your show. You're excellent. I hope there's season 2. And there's season 2. I thought you were talking Loma versus Haney. No, not Loma. Loma won that fight. Garcia clearly won the first round against Haney. Haney took a big shot and Ryan was all over him. There was another round where Haney took a big shot and stumbled and Ryan was all over him. I can't remember the other one, but I do remember obviously the first one. You into the Dune movies? I am. I'm just waiting for the right mood to watch number 2 because it's on my TV right now, so I can easily watch it. What causes a typhoon? Typhoon is just a hurricane, right? It's just two weather masses, hot and cold air meeting over the ocean and creating a tropical storm. But it's bigger than a tropical storm, so they have names, typhoon or hurricane. Hurricane is just Pacific Ocean. Hurricane is Atlantic Ocean, but it's the same thing, a huge tropical storm. Shogun is renewed for 2 more seasons. Nice. Even though the main actor is dead, very, very unfair on Loma that they used 3 American judges and Devin's uncle as a referee. Loma's team warned them about Moretti before the fight. You watched the original Dune? I did watch the original Dune with Sting, but like literally fucking, I don't know, 30 years ago, like a long time ago. And I didn't even really know the story to Dune. I mean, I saw the book before because I read a lot, but I never was a sci-fi reader when I was younger. So I saw the book and it's this thick and I don't even know the story or the writer. So I never really picked it up. But then I did watch the movie on DVD. What about Loma taking time off? What about it? I think he's sitting there going, because you see what happened, right? They've been negotiating for months. He flies over to America to fucking sign the contract. And all of a sudden, he comes out with a memo that he's going to take the rest of the year off. What does that tell you? It tells you that when he got to the table, he didn't like what they were doing, the way they're probably trying to take advantage of him. And he's like, I don't need this fight. You need this fight. So I'm just going to go take the rest of the year off, help sort out shit in fucking Ukraine where my hotel just got bombed, fucking hang out with my family, appreciate the fact that life is fleeting, and you can go fuck yourself and come back and talk to me in 2025. The original Dune is underappreciated. The director didn't get to shoot its true vision. He should have fought 4 weeks ago. There's a 10-9 scorecard for rounds need to stop. If you get hit and didn't hit back, that is at least a 10-8. They can reduce robberies, catch weight rehydration clauses. They're trying to rush him into camp so he doesn't get to prepare well. Well, to be fair, he could have been preparing all this fucking time, right? I mean, after you beat George Kambosos, you take a month off, and now you should just be back in the gym fucking preparing. You don't need to be in the Ukraine. He could still be in his house in California. So, yeah, I don't know. Why is Hitler documentaries so interesting? History is interesting. I know when they taught us in school, who liked history? Nobody. Because all they did was focus on dates, right? and try to ask you, what year did this happen? What year did that happen? What year did this happen? But yet they didn't tie the stories together. History are great stories. If you love to read and you love great stories, you will love history. History is fucking great. It's so interesting. That's why when I listen to most of these people on YouTube that say the things they say, they're so fucking stupid. I heard 78 talking about what is it? Fucking the government paying you. What's that? Retribution or something. But yet he makes this all about race. Yet there were fucking white slaves during that whole period of time as well. There's slaves fucking today. More slaves today than there were before. There's been slaves throughout history, not black, everybody. Primarily the first slaves were white slaves. So slavery has been always an ongoing fucking issue in the world because people are assholes. Reparations. There you go. Can't see. Only in America, no neutral judges or refs. True. I thought this was going to get made. Why? But then, these guys are stupid, uneducated, ignorant, looking for a free handout, don't understand the history of the world, right? Use what happened 400 years ago for excuses today. You fucking hear less moaning and fucking groaning from Aboriginal Americans whose whole culture was fucking wiped out. These guys have been ripped away from their culture, but their cultures are so strong over in Africa, still fucking going, still going. This generation needs Slim Shady, Sean. This gen is too sensitive. Slim Shady is kicking ass, and people are in their feelings for it. I fucking laugh because people are just, dude, man, he's trying to make a point, and you stupid fuckers don't get it, so you're emotionally upset because of it. Don't summon JB. I laugh out loud. Don't worry, he's there. Ever watching. Of course, he made a Clarissa Shields video yesterday. Why? Because I made a 1 minute short about Clarissa Shields hating on fucking Serrano, acting as if she's fucking the GOAT, yet she's fighting some heavyweight fighter, a heavyweight division that has 21 people in it and only 2 with winning records. But whoa, Clarissa Shields is fucking rewriting history. She's going to become undisputed in the heavyweight division. That'll be tough. That'll be tough. Becoming undisputed as a female heavyweight. Fucking impossible. How you like how the 2 cup tournaments turned out? Well, I would have preferred England to win, but England didn't deserve to win. And obviously, I love the 2 Spanish kids. Fucking Christ, man. Lamal and fucking Nico. Whoo! Those kids are good, man. I fucking would love Nico to come to Liverpool. Ship out Salah, bring in Nico. Boom. Let's go. I'd be happy. I know I hate black people, but still I'd like to have Nico play for Liverpool. And when I say that, I'm being sarcastic, just for people out there that actually take it as serious. And then, of course, Argentina winning. That's not a surprise. Beating Colombia. Colombia overperformed. Canada did well. Canada played really well. I had people crying that Canada lost, but Canada being as high as they were, that's impressive. That's impressive. Ngannou was making excuses on why he lost to AJ on Joe Rogan's podcast. They made him come to the arena 3 hours earlier, was tired during the fight. I know. All groups have been oppressed. Take that oppression, a fuel, and move forward. Look at the Jews, for an example. The whole fucking people were fucking trying to be wiped out by fucking the Germans. And what did they do from that? They built a nation, fucking took over the world economically. I mean, look at Japan after being nuked by the Americans in World War II. Nuked. The only people in history to ever have bombs dropped on their heads. They end up becoming one of the richest fucking countries in the world. Right? You do that. You take that oppression and you use it to motivate yourself to do great. You think about all the immigrants that moved to Canada and the States, right? Italians, Greeks, fucking everybody else, Indians, fucking Chinese. Katie Taylor has a better resume than Clarissa. Facts over feelings. I don't know who could fucking act as if somehow Clarissa Shields' resume is better than Katie Taylor's. Like, obviously, you're just not paying attention to women's boxing if you think Clarissa Shields is more fucking has done more in boxing, because she hasn't. Katie Taylor, her resume is like men's resume. That kind of quality of resume that she has on her resume, right? It's fantastic. And I don't watch women's boxing. You have to move forward no matter what. Mexico national team, a shit show. See, that's a country that should be upset and disappointed. In CONCACAF, Mexico should easily dominate Canada, America, and the fucking Central American, fucking Caribbean countries. It should not fucking even be close. There's no team in the Olympic football. Argentina is in it in the US, but a lot of countries aren't in it. Stop waiting for government handouts. Learn a skill, master it, move on, and grow. Do you watch UFC? Not really. Not really. I've never been a huge UFC fight fan. I like my man. I like him so much I can't remember his name. What the fuck? We know this is just me because I always forget names. Come on. Black guy, light heavyweight. John Jones. I like John Jones, but unfortunately, John Jones, like many people, would rather ruin his career than be as successful as he could be, unfortunately. And I like that new guy from Brazil. Is he Brazilian? Pereira. I would like to see Pereira fight Jake Paul. That'd be a good fight. Obviously Jake Paul, I think, is a more skilled boxer than Pereira, but Pereira, he'd be a challenge. We know Jake Paul don't want to get hit by Pereira. The way he fights is very defense first. Drug treat woman beater who got gifted versus Dominic. Now, dude, laugh out loud. Are you talking about John Jones or Pereira? I don't watch UFC, so I don't have the historical context of all the bad things people have done. What about Ngannou? That needs to be the end of Paul. Who's Paul Ngannou? Sean, I stopped watching slavery movies because all they do is promote nonstop victimhood. I never really watched slave movies except, of course, Tarantino's movie, and I only watched it once, right? Only once. To be fair, I feel uncomfortable listening to Tarantino throw around the N-word so much. And I'm far from woke, but, I have feelings. I have empathy. I watch more movies about pursuit of happiness and gifted hands. Well, that's something that I've learned in life. I stopped reading the newspaper, and I don't watch scary movies or super dramatic movies. I try to watch movies that are more happy, TV shows that are more happy. Even a lot of Korean stuff, which is real brutal, and historically I really liked it. I don't really watch it so much anymore because, I'm getting soft in my old age. It's her fault. Oh, that's the Taiwan flag. There you go, people. My dog's sleeping on the Taiwan flag. I mean, if this was America, somebody would fucking, hate on me. I do watch lots of comedies. Who was I watching? What's the guy? The Filipino-American guy? He's funny. And the English fucking guy who always wears a suit. That dude's fucking hilarious. Hilarious. Well, that's it, right? It's better to watch movies that inspire you, entertain you, make you laugh. You watched that Jack Johnson documentary. Has Morgan Freeman narrated it? Yeah, I watched that. I think I made like a short video talking about it. I walk my dog 5 days a week. 5 days a week. What happens the other 2 days? Your dog just shits all over your house? I walk my dog 2 times a day. I've been watching a lot of North Korean escape documentaries. That sounds fucking super depressing. Super fucking depressing. Fucking North Korea escape fucking documentaries. That's very specific to the genre that you're watching. Fucking Christ. But ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been on for over 2 hours. I'm going to go buy a coffee and feed my dog. So thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for people that felt generous enough to contribute to my channel. I also appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. As I say, I'm on holiday, so expect to see more of my face, whether you like it or not.